The walls are the original walls, but everything else in here has pretty much been fixed. You could say, like I mentioned, a lot of restoration went on here. The kitchen consisted of 3 stores, 1, 2, 3. The cuts in the walls are ventilation. The dirt floors, this is where they store their goods. This is a trash chute. Let's move this. We'll move this. This wasn't there then. See if it does that. Okay, trash chute. This has all been rebuilt here. The material that you see is what the original structure was constructed with. This is where they did their cooking. That's an oven, and this is a water station right over here. What is of interest in here, and what adds to the story, is what you're standing on. This is a ballast material. A ballast material called York stone. Comes from a quarry just outside of Manchester in England. This stuff here is a brick that's made in England. This is a ballast brick. It's a ballast material. It's a building material. So what did ships need to get across the Atlantic? They needed ballast. It needed weight, sir. Yes. And guess what? Your ship needs it too. Your ship has ballast in it. But it's probably just pumped in and pumped back out of seawater. But in the old days, it was building materials like this. So ships were filled with this stuff. Goods were piled in on top. Goods that were coming to the West Indies. Goods were also being used and traded for people in West Africa. Goods like guns and cloth and beer were being traded for people. People were then packed into ships and sent 3,000 miles across the ocean to the West Indies to work on sugar plantations. That's how it worked for 200 years. So a route developed that was a triangular route. The goods left England south to West Africa, west to the West Indies, and then east back to England. It was a triangular route, and it was called the Triangle Trade. So when all of this came out, what was the ballast for the return journey? Sorry? Goods? Oh, sugar. Sugar was the ballast for the return journey. So that's how it worked. Okay? Now Barbados was the hub. So everything came here first. We were the sorting point. This is where it was all sorted. So that's the triangle trade. Sugar really exploded in the British West Indies from Barbados around 1650. And it was Jewish planters that made it explode, you could say. They arrived from Brazil. They were planters. They were wealthy. They were on the run from inquisitions in Europe. They were calling themselves new Christians because they were showing that they were practicing Christianity, but they were behind the scenes practicing their own religion. So they were known as new Christians. So the Portuguese and the Spanish would not tolerate them at all, and they were fleeing from them. But the Dutch and the English would tolerate the Jewish planters, the Jewish people. And that is why they ended up here. Because the Portuguese landed in northeastern Brazil eventually and displaced the Dutch, and that's why these planters came to Barbados. In 1649 they arrived, realized the climate suited sugar, and they started to grow sugar en masse in Barbados, and it spread out into the West Indies. Do we have evidence of it? I mean, we all know that it happened. But what is the evidence? Well, one of the nicest pieces of evidence is this. What would Jewish people do first if they were going to stick around somewhere for a while? Synagogue? You hit the nail on the head. Yeah. They built a synagogue in Bridgetown in 1654. And it's one of the oldest in the Western Hemisphere, about 80 years older than the oldest in the United States. Okay? By the way, when we get outside,